Hi, this is Jeff with Inland Surfer. Hey, we're going to add a new ballast puppy to our boat right now. And we've already put one in my boat, which is the black boat. Now we're going to put one in Mark's boat. And you can see that these are the tools we're going to need to do it. We start over here with the ballast puppy. We got about 10 feet of hose. We got our valves. We got our silicone and everything that you need there. When we move over here, we need our light. We have our zip ties. We have our cable pullers. We got about 25 feet of wire, tape, and all the little fuses that you need. You're going to need all this. You're going to need this to cut out for the switch. You're going to need a drill. You're going to need a heat gun. You're going to need a hole saw to drill through the boat. And most importantly, you're going to need this weird little tool that we got from, I don't know, Home Depot or something. It's for doing sink stuff, and it's a great way to get down and get that nut tight. So hey, let's start. We're going to start right now by wiring up the boat and getting it all wired. Then the next segment will be putting in the pump.
So we've already installed our Enzo sack, as you can see here. And the nice thing about the Enzo sack is we're using the existing plumbing from the boat. We've got 2 fills, 2 empties, and 2 overflows, but it really just doesn't fill fast enough. That's why we're going to add this extra ballast puppy. So we pulled out the side panels. Now we're just going to go figure out where we're going to put our pump. We'll locate the pump, we'll install the pump, and then we'll run the wires for it.
All right, we had to go up front. We took our wire connector thing and shot it all the way back along the side. It comes out here at the very end, and now we're going to feed the cable up and under the back transom area here and right down to our pump, and we'll put it together and off we go. So he has me putting the little pump right here on this nice little ledge. I don't know if you can see it through everything. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this little Sharpie, mark it, we're going to drill it and sink some stainless steel bolts into it. So we'll get back to you. We're just finishing up putting those screws in, and now we're going to wire the pump. They actually got Mark to do some work. All right, so I got some old school crimpers here, and I'm just going to crimp them. I'm going to put the black wire to the black wire from the pump, and the green wire is going to go to the orange wire, and we'll crimp them up, zip tie it to the column here, and we'll go in and install the switch.
Okay, so now we've got our switch. This is a dual position switch, actually 3-way, fill and empty, which makes it great. We're just going to crimp on some barrel connectors so we can terminate our wiring to this, and then we'll cut out a hole in the dash and install it.
So we're going to put our switch right here, but I am going on underneath to make sure that when I do put the switch in, nothing's interfering with it. So we'll get our little rotor zip saw here, cut it out, put the switch in, and wire it up. All right, you can see we cut the hole in the dash there. It only goes through like an 1/8 inch, and as you can see, it fits in just perfect. What we'll do is we'll drill a couple of holes here, put a screw in, and just finish our wiring.
Okay, before we finish up here, we're just going to add an inline fuse. So we just picked one of these up at the auto parts store, just a regular old inline fuse. We're going to put it on the hot side between the switch and the power terminal. So we'll just crimp this in, and we'll be done after we put the last couple of screws in the switch.
All right, we have 2 terminals back here. One's this kind of big one that looks like this with this big nut coming off, and that's our hot. So I basically unscrewed it and put the red wire to it, and then right up above it we have the master ground board. And all you have to do is, if there's an extra screw, you can screw the ground in, or you can buddy up with another ground wire. And it's just as simple as making sure they're tight, and you're good to go. All right, well that took us about a half an hour to do the wiring. We got everything installed. Next is we're going to get out the old drill and pop a hole right through your hole. That takes some guts to do, so we'll go check it out.
Okay, now it's time for phase 2. We've already run our electrical and got our pump hooked up to the battery and our switch, and that's all ready to go. So now it's time for the hard part, which is drilling a hole in your boat. Not awesome, but if you take your time and do it right, you'll be happy with the results. So I've got my valve, which you have to have, and my through-hole fitting, and all we're trying to do now is locate the place for the through-hole fitting. Through-hole fitting is going to come up through the bottom of the boat. It's got a keeper nut, and then this is going to thread on top of it. Now, it's really important to think this through, and we've just spent about 10 minutes figuring out exactly where to put this because there's other stuff in there. There's a drain plug and there's 2 more of these, and this needs to be able to spin on, and we need to be able to have access to it. So we've marked exactly where we're going to drill, and our next step is to drill through the boat. Okay, so we've drilled a hole through the bottom of the boat, and now we're going to put our through hole fitting up through. We'll silicone it and get the lock washer on it, or the lock nut.
Make sure your drill goes the right way. Very nice.
Okay, so we got our fitting in, and now we've threaded on our shut-off valve. You got to have those. And now we're just adding our hose. We're going to run one end to the fitting, and then another end to our pump, and then from our pump to the back of the fat sack. It's nice to have a heat gun. You warm up the end of these tubes here, and they go on really nice. Otherwise, you're just fighting it all day. Okay, so that's it. We've hooked the last hose up to our fat sack, ran it down on the side of the engine compartment here, and then into our extra ballast pump that you see mounted right there. That's it. Now it's if the weather would just get nice, we can go surf and enjoy this.